Hello and welcome to the 1990 series. My name's Amanda O'Shea from the Serendipity Experience, and I have with me the lovely Danielle Guinagh from Florida. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
Good, pleasure. I'm really happy to have got to know you and I'm very excited to be spending some time with you next year. So that's really exciting for me. Danielle, it's been, since I came across the principles, since I came across the inside out understanding, since I came across the world of recovery, the the words Gulf breeze were always like something I talked about so often, because it's like there's this recovery center like in America, and all the staff are trained up in the inside out understanding, and you know, I used to watch. I knew the website quite well because I used to look at it a lot, and I used to show people your testimonials and all the things that you had on your website. So when I met you at the London conference and got to know you, and then we've had a few chats, and then sort of coming out plans next year to come out and visit and see the centre, and we're going to be at the addiction conference together, and you're speaking there, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
And I'm going to be on one of the panels, so and bringing a client from here. So all of a sudden, it's funny. It's like this sort of Gulf breeze, which seemed, it's like suddenly, oh wow, gonna sort of, it's going to be more personal. I'm going to come visit and get to see what's really going on, because that was just having worked full time in a recovery centre for 2.5 years. The idea of everybody or all the staff were being trained, it just sounds to me like a dream. I can't even imagine. I can't even imagine how that must be, and I've always thought, wow, that was like it would feel like my life would be so much easier. But I'm actually quite intrigued to know that after spending such an interesting time in the world of recovery, but also having been around the world of the principles for much longer now, I see that even just because even people have an understanding, that they're still normal human beings doing their normal human being things. So maybe this idea that I have, it isn't how it really is. It's just how I'd imagine it would be. So I'd love to know a little bit more about, well, just about you and what you do there. I'd love you to introduce yourself and tell us how that is, and were you part of it from the beginning? What's your story there?
So I've been with Golfers Recovery since its inception about 6.5 years ago. I've been the clinical director about 2.5 years. When I first started, I worked with clients one-on-one. I did groups. I even took them on some of the outings and things. And I remember in the very early days, like them taking me to the zoo, and I'm watching the guests and the giraffes trying to lick their face, and they're trying to stick their finger in the monkey cage, and I'm going, oh no, I'm gonna get fired before I barely started,
It's like taking a bunch of naughty children to the zoo.
The zoo, yeah. So it's interesting because I had that perspective, and then I did some counseling and administration work, worked under the clinical director as the assistant clinical director, and then I took over about 2.5 years ago. So it's been neat to be able to kind of see all aspects of the program and to work with staff in that way. And we have Joe Bailey, who's a consultant for us, and he's worked with the program from the inception as well. And so I've done many trainings with him, and he comes twice a year and does trainings in person. We have a retreat. We rent a beach house, and we go over and get to do trainings, which is really awesome.
How lovely. I love Joe. And that must, just to have done your training, with him directly, must be great.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then him and I have done some work together too. My mom passed away from addiction about 5 years ago. I've never struggled personally, but it's really given me insight on just what the families go through in addiction and how to help them. And as I've had my own insights, it's allowed me to share from a deeper place and a more impactful place to families. So Joe and I recently just did a webinar series on families and addictions too.
Nice. Yeah, I saw that. Nice. Yeah, great. So you've because I know I've also seen some Michael Neal footage or videos. Was he down there sharing? Was that?
Yeah, we've had special guest speakers come, like Michael Neal's been here, and Brock and Jamie Seller have been here. They studied under the Kranskys. We had Mavis Karn that has come, so we've had other people that have come to our treatment center as well. And just, it's been nice too to expose our staff to, you hear from different people.
Absolutely.
Come and so that's kind of how we arrange our program too. As I mentioned, that we get to have our own understanding of this. We all get training. And then Joe meets with us bi-weekly. We have some individual slots where he meets with people individual, and then we meet as a clinical team once a month and as an administrative team once a month with him. So we all continue to grow and learn in the principles. And, the more that we take care of ourselves, the more that we grow and learn, the more that we have to share with others, the more that we have available.
Sure. So that's lovely. So you have sort of on a Zoom or something like this. You have sort of.
Yes.
Yeah. And so people come in there and they have the normal. They go through their detox. You got your own detox wing, and then I know you have like the spa. They do their sort of they have like a spa settling in time where that's the same. That's the order that you do it in, and before they kind of go into any kind of groups or discussions, or they really get to settle in there. It's like a 2-month program, isn't it? Is that what you run?
Yes, it's a 2-month program. So everything that we do is designed to help the guests get a better understanding of the principles and to be in a place to really hear us. So when they first come in and they're in detox, they're usually really sick. So it's just a matter of kind of treating their symptoms, making sure that they're stable, trying to get them to, eat and sleep and feel better. And the counselors are checking in on them. We've got a nurse 24/7 on staff. Mm-hmm. Our medical director is an addictionologist. And so they're really getting a lot of care just to kind of stabilize, make sure they're okay and that they're comfortable. Mm-hmm. So many people in addiction, they don't go to treatment because they're just afraid of the withdrawal symptoms and the process, and they're really afraid of being sick and what that's going to look like. So we really try hard to just keep them as comfortable as we can.
Yeah, great. And so slowly, and they know that coming to see you, because you actually you promote yourself as a non-12-step facility, which is quite a big, bold statement, isn't it? I mean, to sort of not mention anything is one thing, but to actually go out there being bold and saying it's a non-12-step. And I think what I've seen is people that have done the 12-step and that hasn't really quite worked for them, or they still keep relapsing, or they find themselves in that position. That is actually appealing for them, because I hear people come in there like, I don't want to do the 12, I don't want to do the 12. I've done that. I mean, they might not have done it, I don't know, or when they've done it or whatever, but they've already got a hang up on it. They're not really, open to it. So it's very different where I work, because you can have somebody go through the 12 steps with you. You can, talk to me. I talk to everybody anyway, do some workshops, but it's actually that thing that is, they don't have to go through that again. Is there an excitement from them? Do you feel that there's like an excitement of this being something new that they've never heard before?
Yeah, there is, and there's an excitement because a lot of them have tried the 12 steps and they haven't worked, or they have a hang up about just the religious connotation with AA, or how they see that, that they have some inner conflict with that. And so the concept of the principles in mind being however they see that, that they have some choice in that understanding, and how that fits for them is often really freeing for them.
Yeah.
the hard part, I think, for people coming through our treatment center is that we're so used to being told, now tell me what to do, tell me how to do it, tell me when to do it, and then this is next. And the principles just don't work that way, of course. And, you know, it's much more of a being than a doing. And so, you know, at times that can be a little bit frustrating for them. And so earlier we were referencing the program. And I mentioned how they go through detox. Well, the first phase, once they come out of detox into residential, is to help them be able to sit and to help them be able to hear and take in the principles. You know, with addiction often comes kind of a lack of focus and some distraction. And the brain is often altered from chemical imbalances and from use. So we'll incorporate neurofeedback. And basically, that's just a system that through auditory and visual stimulation, it helps kind of retrain the brain so that the guests can focus and pay attention. Because we're a program of abstinence as well. So as best we can, we try not to use anything that has any addictive properties. So we try to get people off of things like their ADHD medicine, you know, any kind of anti-anxiety medication, pain medications, all those things as best we can, because often we see that cross addiction.
Yeah.
So, you know, neurofeedback works in a way that helps calm the amygdala in the brain so people can focus and concentrate. And it really helps them often to sleep better too, and just to feel better, to rest, and again, be able to take in the program. So they'll do that phase kind of in the morning, and in the afternoon, they'll have a reading reflection hour where they'll read some of the 3 principal books, and then they'll do classes in the afternoon and classes in the evening. The afternoon classes are principle-based classes as well, and then the late evening classes are often they're still focused around the principles, but they're a little bit more recreational in nature, because it's a 6:30 to 8 class. So we're having the guests be able to kind of get out, enjoy sobriety and fun, and, you know, be able to go to the park and play volleyball or go for a walk, and just be able to be present and be with themselves and just enjoy, and not have to look outside themselves to feel good, which is what they're used to in addiction.
Sure.
You know, to get that inner sense of peace and calm for themselves. So it's kind of cool. It's like, okay, well, we talk about peace and serenity and where it comes from, and then you get to kind of have that hands-on experience with that. So we have a certified recreational therapist, and also a certified art therapist that works with us. And,
nice. Because you got the number. I mean, you can take up to, is it 25 or 30 people or so if you were at your full maximum?
We have 25 residential beds and then 5 detox beds.
Wow. Yeah. So that's a nice, wow, you know, crowd. So seeing that your staff, so you don't just employ staff that already have an understanding of the principles. You employ staff and then train them up. Is that how it works?
Yeah. And as somebody that does the hiring, you know, I just want to hire somebody that's open to a different philosophy, and I'm just real upfront with people, and, you know, often share some of the books and things, and have them come back in and read and see if it's a good fit, because, you know, we just want people to be here that really align with what we do.
Absolutely, yeah. So what is it like working in a treatment center? You're in there full time with everybody that has the understanding that no body, no thing, no situation, no event has got the power to make us feel anything positive nor negative. You know, working there and being around that, and obviously sharing that all the time. Do you see the staff getting as caught up as you would in any other, you know, in any other world?
Well, we're all human. Of course we get caught up. I get caught up in our staff. But the cool thing about the principles to me, and as you continue to learn and grow, is that you don't get caught up as often, and you don't stay there as long.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really neat. I'm a licensed mental health counselor, but I'm also qualified to supervise interns that are in school and interns that are working towards getting their license. And in Florida, it takes 2 years once you graduate from school to work under somebody else's license. So
Okay.
it's really neat to supervise some of our staff and see them learn and grow in their clinical skills. And you mentioned, when you're hiring, sometimes it's nicer to hire those interns because they see things fresh. And
Sure,
it's instead of,
absolutely.
we're going to do this my way, and kind of some of the
Yeah.
old school stuff. And so it's really rewarding to watch them like learn and grow, and that sense of excitement.
Yeah.
They're I did my internship in the jail setting, and
Wow.
there, and so completely different. And you see people that have been in mental health a long time, and you see them burn out, and so it's
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
different. And so to work with people here who are enthusiastic and excited, and it's nice. And it's a smaller work environment. It's not a real big corporation. We're privately owned, and so many people say it's like a family.
Yeah.
And so with this understanding, we work together, quite well. Most of the time, we're human, right?
Yeah.
And it's the staff are supportive of each other, and we all kind of have our own strengths and things that we like to do and don't like to do. And the team works really nicely together to accomplish those goals, and do it in a way that fits for them too.
Amazing. And I bet the clients feel that kind of gift of love and care that's, people really seeing as everybody comes through, that could be any of us, or that could be any of us, parents or children or whatever. So that's just, it's wonderful. It's lovely. And do you have people sort of coming back? Do you have people going back out when they leave you? Do they stay in contact, and do they, do they let you know how they're doing? And do you sort of see where people who have continued to kind of look in this direction and have grown, or are working in it themselves now, or sharing it themselves? Do you have that much sort of contact post?
Yes, so we have a transitional care coordinator, and his job is actually to stay in contact with the previous guests, and to kind of check in, see how people are doing, see if they need additional resources. We try to track our rates of sobriety as best we can,
Mm.
self-report. And also we have a Monday night, a Zoom group where it has all the past graduates that want to join. It's an open group that after completed treatment that you can join at any time, and we encourage people to, because we get people from all over the country. And then on Wednesday we do like kind of a group meditation that's open to them too, over Zoom. On Tuesdays we have a family support group, and so that's for family members of those that have went through the program or that are in the program that can join. And then in the Pensacola area, for those that are local, we do a support group that's face-to-face as well.
Amazing. At the center, or did you go somewhere out?
We do somewhere outside the center that's just a support group for them. So, that's one of the ways that we encourage the guests to stay connected. And we have transitional care principal educators that work with our guests after. So we offer 4 hours of continuing care so that the guests can kind of get started and work with somebody after they leave here. But we encourage them to continue. So, sometimes through the 3P educators, we,
Fantastic.
and they can stay
So
connected.
it's such a, seeing that it's such a, yeah, because you've been there for that long, and it just feels like that's normal, that's what, has been shared in the world of recovery, and that's just not how it is. I mean, I don't know any other treatment center in Europe that has been sharing the principles within a treatment center, like a residential treatment center. But maybe there are. So if anybody out there who's watching this and knows, please let me know where that's happening. And I know that people are trying, just starting to be able to get their foot in the door. I feel ever so grateful that sort of 3 years ago that I was welcomed into a treatment center to be able to share. I don't think they even really, they felt there was love and care, and weren't really sure what I was really talking about, and wasn't really sure what I was really up to. But it's been amazing, and I can only imagine how it must be to be in a team like that. So yeah, it's I'm very excited to come and sort of see it in action. I'm really excited to have that
Yeah,
opportunity.
that would be amazing.
Yeah.
I think one of the most rewarding things that we see is we have a graduation ceremony for our guests, and you see what they look like and how they acted and where they were when they walked in the doors.
Yeah.
You know, they're still, you know, on substances, detoxing from substances, and then you see them walking out the door, and just the physical transformation. You know, see their skin glow, and you know, just everything about them has transformed, and they're just so much lighter and happier, and the genuine gratitude and appreciation that they share with just the group of people that they went through treatment with, and of course the staff, and how it's impacted their life. And I think it's such a beautiful thing that we do, because you know, some of the other treatment centers, while they get the person sober, they don't necessarily have the person happy.
Mm.
You know, they don't have them happy or healthy, and in some cases that happens, of course. And you know, I'm grateful for anybody that helps anybody into recovery, of course, you know, for any program that people do. But it feels like a true blessing to me to be able to have people see their own lives like just so fresh and so new, and
Yeah.
from such a different perspective. You know, it's not about, oh, well, I just don't, you know, use drugs or drink alcohol anymore. It's like, I have this amazing life, and I see life through this whole new perspective and lens
Oh,
now.
it really is the second chance, isn't it? Or the
Yeah.
second chance again. Some of them are probably on their 22nd chance, or their 10th chance, or their 5th chance, or whatever. But it always is that kind of, you know, all right, we've got another crack at it, another exploration. And so thank you so much for just sort of sharing all of that with me. It's so interesting for me that these centers, because I think, are there like 3 in the States now that are sharing just the principles, or are there more than that you know of?
Just the 3 that I know of. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it's still really early days, isn't it? For
Yeah.
all of us guys that have been working in recovery and sharing a message. And did that come about because the owner, or like, was it somebody at Gulf Breeze? Like, how did that come about that somebody decided to really?
The owner had worked in another treatment center previously, and in a different capacity, and what he saw was that basically the people that had some sort of insight, they changed and transformed and were able to maintain sobriety, and the people that didn't have insight, it didn't. And so, you know, then he kind of stumbled onto the principles. Um, uh, you know, just kind of searching, like, well, how do you help people have insight? What does that look like? And
Right. Okay.
yeah, and then got in connection with Joe Bailey, you know, through his book and his works, and he came down before the treatment center opened, actually, and did some talking about, you know, how he could work with the program, what that would look like. And he did his first training with the treatment center, with the staff, before the treatment center even opened.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow. So there's you know, I think that anybody that comes into your place, into recovery, has really got an amazing opportunity for it to be a very special time. Like, I see it as a gift.
Yeah, yeah.
Be able to
And
spend, you know.
we even had people say that they're grateful that they had a substance issue, because it's completely transformed their life.
Yeah.
You know, they got to see this understanding. Um,
Yeah.
and, you know, they go back and they see their marriages and their families and their life completely different. And, you know, then they feel like they can share and transform. And having been a part of helping develop the family support group and doing a lot of family work, it's really neat to me to see the ripple effect of not just the guests that we work with, but their families, and how they've changed and transformed, and the work that that's gone out. You never know quite whose lives you're going to touch.
You don't, and even it's sort of, it just seems to be this slowly. Even I've been working with Step One Recovery in Spain, and they've opened a few treatment centers now in the UK, and just the opportunity, maybe to go and just share it there, as and just that's the way, just slowly it's starting to really come in. And so it feels like maybe we're a bit behind over here. maybe in Europe we're just catching up, we're just catching up, but then we're good. Once we've caught up, we fly with it.
In London, there's like 1,000 people at the 3P conference, and you go in the U.S. and there's only like 300. So.
Oh, really? And you're, wow.
Yeah.
But is that because you have it's such a huge, you're really all over, aren't you? There are people sharing this understanding over most states in America, would you say?
I'm not sure about that. I think maybe Europe has more of a concentrated area.
Right.
Shares, for
Right.
sure.
So I know that on the East Coast, you've got the whole New York area and Vermont, and you've got all that gang up there. They've got that covered. And down, obviously, you guys down there in Florida. And I know that obviously over on the East Coast and over up La Conner and Washington. And, I've got their friends of mine, around the States that are dotted around. So and one day it might just be a household name, hey?
Yeah, right. That's what we hope. That's what we
Keep talking about the principles behind recovery. And of course, that's what we'll be doing soon. So in May, we'll all be up there and hoping maybe to get about, 300 people or so max, I think. So 250, 300 people coming together to speak about the principles, what we commonly refer to as the three principles in recovery, and the transforming, the transformations that are available for people when they get an understanding of that. So how lovely, just how lovely. So thank you for all the wonderful work that you're doing over there. And
thank you.
It's
Thanks
so
for
nice.
having me.
Yeah, pleasure, absolute pleasure. And keep smiling and keep doing what you're doing, and just keep in touch. And I'll speak with you very soon, but I'll see you soon. So thank you, Danielle. It's lovely. Thank you. Lots of love.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Hope that you enjoyed this. That was a lovely session. Thank you.